Hey friends, I'm going to do a really fast job of introducing you to Tinkercad. I've got 5 minutes, so let's see how much we can pack in. When you get to tinkercad.com and you have logged in with your Blue School account, if you create a new design using this button right here, it's going to bring out a work plane. And the work plane is where all of the pieces that we pull from our catalog will land. So if I'm going to pull out a box, it lands on the work plane, and I can see that it is sitting exactly on that. The way you navigate around Tinkercad is as follows. I'm going to give you the controls for a mouse pad. Two fingers just not even clicking, just dragging, swiping up and down is going to give me the zoom feature. I'm just doing this. If I do two fingers on the mouse pad, but one of them moves around, doing a little stanky leg, I can do an orbiting tool. They should call it the stanky leg tool. I could also, if I hold shift key down while I do the stanky leg, I can pan, which is really helpful as I'm working and I've zoomed really close in and I want to see something that's over here, but it's in the way. The pan feature will get this back over. Okay. The shapes themselves, there's going to be some extra features for all of those as well. I can take radius and start to curve the edges of that cube. I can go so far that it becomes a sphere. So really fun to play with that, especially if you're designing furniture for a house. Certainly 3D printing parts that need to be a specific shape. These are really helpful. So let's do a few things with the nodes. The nodes are what are going to allow me to adjust the shape and the size of this piece. If I grab one of the white nodes, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom, I'm going to adjust 2 dimensions in one go, right? So I'm getting rectangular, it just sort of moves around. If I hold the shift key down while I do that, everything stays in proportion. So my initial cube will stay a cube. If I don't have that, the initial cube can turn into a rectangle and a rectangular box. So let's see. Let's say I want to do it like this, and then this one here lets me move the height, adjust the height of the shape. This piece here, the black cone, is what's going to allow me to lift the piece up and then drop it down. Okay. Sometimes when you've lifted something, it's hard to get it back exactly on the work plane. You think you got it, and then you do a little zooming, and you see, oops, I've gone too far. If you type D for drop, it's literally going to drop it on the work plane, and away we go. I can rotate these things too. These rotational dials here will adjust. There are 3 of them for the X, the Y, and the Z axes. If I grab it, I can just spin it, and I can see the degrees here. If I do something and I want to undo it, the undo arrow or Control Z is a great way to get back to where we were. But I can adjust this, I can adjust this, I can undo that, and I can adjust this one here. Sometimes rotating makes it a lot easier to do the orbits that you need. Okay, so that's how you can modify the shape itself. Now let's say I want to put a hole right through the middle of that, maybe a window right in the middle of that wall. There's 2 ways to do that I'm going to show you here. One is you bring out your cylinder, but it's not in the right orientation. I want it sideways. I want it 90 degrees tipped and then run through. So I can rotate it 90 degrees. I'll just get it as close as I can. Perfect. And then, by the way, arrows are another great way to move things. I'm holding down the left arrow, and it just pushes that right through. If it's not long enough, that's okay. I can grab one of these nodes and just make it as long as I need. So I can do that, and then I need to raise it up a little bit, and I'm kind of working through this. That's one way to do it. The other way, let me delete that, is by introducing a temporary work plane. And if I click on work plane right here, it's going to bring out a work plane that I can put a work plane on any of the shapes any of the faces rather of my shapes. Didn't mean to do that there. So I'm going to bring this out because I want my work plane on this right here. And that is making a work plane on that face so that anything that I bring out now sits on that work plane. And that's really cool. Once I've done that, I don't need this work plane anymore. In fact, it's a little distracting. So I'm going to click on work plane and get rid of that. Now here goes let's click off that. Let's see if I can do this in 20 seconds. I'm going to bring this through here. I'm going to select that and the shape that I want the hole in. I now see I have 2 shapes. If I click group, I got a hole. I got a whole lot of love. All right, get your Zeppelin on, and I will see you all later. We're going to make some fun stuff this year. Peace.